Do you want to speak English fluently in just 30 minutes? Yes, you heard that right. 30 minutes. But how is it possible? It's almost too good to be true, isn't it? Imagine standing in front of a crowd or talking to a group of people, and suddenly, the words come out effortlessly in perfect English. It feels like magic, but I promise you it's not. Stick with me for the next few minutes, and I'll share with you a story that will change the way you look at language and communication forever. Have you ever felt nervous when speaking English? Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to say something but couldn't find the right words? Or, worse, you didn't have enough confidence to speak? Maybe you've tried practicing but still couldn't get it right. Well, this story is for you. Let me take you back to a time when I was just like you, scared of speaking a language that seemed so difficult to master. I was in a new city, and I had to speak English all the time. I felt awkward. I was scared to make mistakes. I worried that people would judge me. One day, while I was sitting in a cafe, I overheard a conversation between two people. They were speaking in English, and I couldn't believe how natural and confident they sounded. It was as if they had been speaking English their whole lives. But here's the twist. One of them wasn't a native speaker. She was from a country where people spoke a completely different language. I was stunned. How was it possible? How could someone speak English so confidently, without hesitation, without worrying about mistakes? I felt a surge of curiosity. I wanted to know how she did it. So after their conversation ended, I gathered all my courage and walked up to her. "Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice how amazing your English is," I said. "I've been struggling with it, and I really want to speak like you. Can you share your secret?" She smiled at me warmly. "There's no secret," she said. "It's all about practice, but most importantly, it's about changing the way you think about English." Her words hit me like a thunderbolt. Changing the way you think. What did that even mean? She went on to explain something that I'll never forget. She said, "Most people think that speaking English fluently means memorizing a lot of grammar rules or vocabulary. But that's not true. Fluency is about being confident, not perfect. It's about thinking in English, not translating from your native language. And the key is to make English a part of your life." At that moment, something clicked in my mind. The problem wasn't my lack of grammar knowledge. It was my lack of confidence. It was my fear of making mistakes. But here was the big revelation: it was okay to make mistakes. In fact, mistakes were part of the process. They weren't something to be afraid of, they were something to learn from. I asked her, "But how do I start? How do I change my thinking?" She told me something even more powerful: you don't need to spend hours studying. In fact, You can start speaking English fluently in just 30 minutes, if you know how. I could hardly believe it, but she had a plan. She said that in the first 30 minutes of speaking, you could achieve more than you would in hours of traditional study. But it all depended on how you approached it. Here's what she shared with me. 1. Stop translating in your mind every time you think in your native language and then translate to English. You slow yourself down. Instead, try to think directly in English. It's like switching on a new mindset. The more you practice thinking in English, the more natural it will feel. 2. Learn phrases, not words alone, don't help you communicate effectively. What really matters are the phrases you use. Think about common expressions, greetings, and questions people use every day. These are the building blocks of fluent speech. 3. Speak. 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 The only way to get better at speaking is to speak. The more you talk in English, the easier it will become. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect sentence. Just start speaking, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. 4. Focus on communication, not perfection. Fluency is not about speaking perfectly, it's about being understood. If people can understand you, you're doing great. Keep the conversation going and focus on getting your message across. 5. Use technology to your advantage. Use apps, online videos, podcasts, and even voice assistants to practice speaking. The more you surround yourself with English, the more natural it will become. As I listened to her, I felt a spark of excitement. This wasn't some complicated method. It was simple and practical, and I could start right away. And you can, too. So, how did my story end? After that conversation, I practiced every day. I made mistakes. I stumbled over words, but I kept going. Little by little, I noticed a change. I started to think in English. I stopped worrying about being perfect. I embraced my mistakes as lessons, and over time, my confidence grew. Within a few months, I was able to have full conversations in English without fear. I felt proud, not because I was perfect, but because I had learned to enjoy speaking without holding back. And you can do the same. Imagine yourself, just 30 minutes from now, speaking confidently in English. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Your journey toward fluency starts with a single step. Speak, even if it's just a few words, but speak with confidence. The more you practice, the more fluent you'll become. And soon, you won't even notice the difference. It will just feel like a part of you. And that, my friend, is how you speak English fluently in 30 minutes. This isn't a magic trick or a quick fix. It's a mindset shift. It's about embracing the journey, not focusing on the destination. Every step forward counts, and each word spoken is a victory. So, the next time you feel nervous about speaking English, remember this fluency is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about the courage to speak, the confidence to learn, and the excitement to keep going. As you take that first step into the world of English, you'll start to feel a transformation not just in your speaking skills, but in your mindset. It's as if you've unlocked a door, and beyond that door is a world full of new possibilities. Imagine being able to have a conversation with anyone, anywhere, without hesitation. That's the power of speaking English fluently. But it all starts with action. Now, let me share another crucial element that often gets overlooked. Motivation. You need a strong why to keep pushing forward. What is your reason for wanting to speak English? Is it to travel the world, to advance in your career, or to connect with new people? Whatever it is, keep that reason close to your heart. When you have a purpose, the journey becomes much easier, even when it gets tough. I remember a time when I was struggling with my own motivation. I wanted to speak English fluently, but I felt like I was running in circles. I wasn't improving as fast as I hoped. But then I asked myself this simple question: why do I want this? The answer came to me clearly. I wanted to connect with people from different cultures, understand different perspectives, and open doors to new opportunities. That realization reignited my passion. Every time I felt discouraged, I reminded myself of my why, and it kept me going. So, as you embark on this journey, ask yourself, why do I want to speak English? Your answer will be your fuel. But motivation alone won't get you to fluency. You need to develop a consistent routine. Consistency is key. In the same way that a plant needs water every day to grow, your English skills need daily practice. This doesn't mean spending hours at a time. Even just 15 to 30 minutes a day can make a huge difference. And remember, it's not about cramming information or memorizing endless lists of words. It's about actively engaging with the language. Find ways to incorporate English into your daily life. Watch English movies or TV shows. Listen to English podcasts or songs. Read books or articles in English. Surround yourself with the language, and you'll start to notice patterns and phrases that will help you speak more naturally.